Dire's ban now.
Here's the Radiant ban.
The Dire get a ban. Ten seconds.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant's turn to pick.
We are closing out week number 4. Damn it, I was so close. I was so close. We're closing out week number 4 here in the North American DPC, and I am losing my marbles. I have to talk to LED screens all day long, and the pigs in the studio are my only friends.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Dusk.
Game number 2.
You're gonna be okay, Neil.
Okay.
Am I though? It's easy for you to say.
I don't know. You look a little demented over there, I gotta say.
Whoa, you've been dropping some SAT words during this entire broadcast. Nefarious,
First time ever.
demented.
5 seconds remaining.
Give me a drum.
All right then.
Give me it. Oh my god.
I'm a little disappointed, I will say, right off the bat. Is because we kind of talked about this idea a little bit beforehand for EG, but I think in the slightly, or not slightly, I don't have to sugarcoat it, the less competitive series that they're going to play, I do think that's a pretty good time for them to try new openers and then resort to their like tried and true Puck and Tusk. But I guess that you can say that even their tiny razor isn't unusual. I was hoping for a little bit more creativity out of the opening 2, because these are the best times, especially the game 2s of a series where you win the first game, are the best times for you to maybe pull something out of the woodwork. But I guess EG just want to like secure their win, call it a day early.
I would argue that you were mentioning that part of the experimentation in this series would maybe give Quincy Crew some information on evil geniuses. So maybe them relying on the tried and true is them keeping their cards close to their chest, so they don't need to show anything off quite yet.
Potentially, they could be going for the next level 5D chess or whatever. But I do think these game 2s are really good opportunities for these more established teams to kind of test the waters a little bit. Like we've seen it with TSM and their pudges and their techies and all of that. And yeah, you can argue that TSM are not having the best outcome right now, but I think they're overall like just very happy to do this. In Moon's interview, he did say that he's bored of all of these standard picks.
I mean, I love that Moon does that, but I think that, and I would love for EG to play like that too, but I don't blame them for playing mega serious, right? Because their opportunity to go to the major is very solid right now, with TSM being 2-2. They don't want to mess up anything. Not that I necessarily see 5RATFORCESTAFF beating them twice or anything, but I'm not surprised that they're going to stick to standard stuff, especially while they still try to figure out their identity as a team, since they are off of a recent roster swap. I say just play boring and standard as possible, and on the bright side, we still get to see them play some of their best heroes with the Puck and the Tusk.
Yeah, but whereas 5RAT themselves decide to diverge a little bit from what they have played in this tour so far with a Nature's Prophet and a Skyrath Mage, and I think both of these heroes have to be first-time picks for them. I cannot remember them running either throughout this entire tour, so maybe they're taking it upon themselves. Yeah, but I mean,
I got banned first phase last game, so
you're probably right.
The Prophet got banned first phase. Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the NP and the Skyrath Mage goes, like NP is a much higher tempo hero than some of the picks that they played with last time. And as far as combinations go, like you do have Sprout into Silence into Mystic Flare potentially later on, especially when NP levels up and gets that leash talent, which makes it harder for heroes like Tusk and Puck to play into. But yeah, and you also have the instant silence of the Skyrath Mage versus Puck, a big deal in playing versus Puck is just making sure you can kill it. So Sky Earth Mage in the past has been a bit of an answer to it, but it's still not my favorite answer to Puck, to be completely honest. It feels like it's easy to itemize against silences.
Yeah, and if Puck ever goes on you first, he just destroys you. There's like nothing you can do survivability wise. He'll kill you before you get on silence, so that part's spooky for sure. Yeah, interested to see how they play the NP this game. I assume it'll just be super standard stuff. Else from BKB. Maybe that's why they like the timing, because once you get BKB, then you can take it to Puck a little bit, helps pressure towers, opens up the map a little bit, makes it harder for Puck to play with his team. Do you want to talk about Earth Spirit for 10 minutes?
We got the ooh, and that was it.
No, it's just interesting because I do think Earth Spirit is probably one of the best fours that you can have in playing versus Puck in the early game. He just has a lot of ways to control him. Like his silence used to be instant, but now it does have a little bit of a cast point, but still very difficult to dodge. And you do have the stun follow up, the potential to like gank mid early on. But I think the biggest thing about this Earth Spirit is being able to match the pace of the Tusk early on. But the thing is, when you see it with a Sky Mage, it doesn't look like a 4, because Sky Mage is usually played as 4. You do assign farm priority to that hero, because he isn't one of those supports that can play with Round with Swan, who's just so weak if he doesn't get his Atos or his Blink or whatever the Sky player wants to do. So we're actually looking at the potential of a core Earth Spirit in this game.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. Dazzle pick is pretty fun. It's been trending in pro pubs, and some pros have been picking it. Hasn't really been changed much since before the major, but obviously other aspects of Dota have. There's less regen in your laning stage. Grave is pretty solid right now too, but a lot of the value of the hero comes down to the amount of heal you can output. It also combos nicely with Lycan, because you can Shadow Wave the Wolves. The Wolves will then do more damage with Shadow Wave, and then when you actually use your ultimate Bad Juju, it'll do more damage if you've recently applied multiple stacks of Shadow Wave. So that's one cool way to make it more effective. You can also counter push waves. You can basically be the solution against Sky Earth Mage if Tusk isn't there as well with Grave. Grave is certainly enough to solidify that. But yeah, sometimes as a hero, as a 5, it can kind of struggle a little bit if it doesn't scale.
That's the most important aspect of picking this Dazzle, is like that's your solution to the Sky Earth Mage burst that you're going to consider later on in the game. The scariest thing for Dazzle is there are heroes that can control him and get on top of him in the back, in the Earth Spirit and the Nature's Prophet TP, and potentially the Sky Earth Mage aiming to cast the spells on Dazzle instead. But you do have the backup save of the Tusk Snowball later on, so there are ways for EG to maybe try to save each other on these two supports. But yeah, this Earth Spirit is very interesting. This looks like a mid Earth Spirit, honestly. You can also have a mid Nature's Prophet or a 5 Nature's Prophet or an offlane Earth Spirit. The Sky ES lane seems like there's potential there to maybe exploit the Dazzle, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like going down this Earth Spirit route, who is a really super aggressive core type in the early game, can be easily shut down if the lane just gets exploited a little bit, and it seems like so far EG's lanes are pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it do well, certainly, but there's been some off games as well on the hero picking it this early. Does make it seem a little bit more up in the air for sure. Sven also a little bit of a weird pick. It's going to give them a lot of armor, which is great against Dazzle and Lycan and Tusk. There's a lot of physical damage between those 3 heroes. But I don't really like Sven against Puck too much, I gotta say. Very difficult to stun him. You'll be able to deal with the Lycan summons pretty easily, and offsetting those across the map is going to be really solid, but I don't know, Sven's kind of interesting. And
Sven will definitely scale very nicely versus the Lycan. Also, if he ever gets that shard, that's just going to be a nice armor boost for his entire team versus this draft so far, which seems very dependent on physical damage, with the exception of Puck's nukes, but a lot of these Pucks just opt to play right-click with Witchblade anyway. I would say most do, to be honest. So yeah, for me, I'm just a little bit concerned for 5RAT. I like the creativity in their draft, definitely, and I like the aggression that's coming out of their draft, definitely, but you're depending entirely on your Earth Spirit and Sky to catch this Puck. So if it backfires, it seems like Puck might potentially have free reign in the game where he came out in the first phase.
Especially if Sven is like offlane or something, right? Because then he's not going to even have as much like damage potential to follow up stuns with. So then if they're just relying on silences, Puck just needs like one defensive item or a little cover from his team and he never dies, I feel like.
Our Spirit is a little unique in that if he's played as a core and gets like a nice BKB timing, you can just like follow up with a lot of rolls. Like it's easy to kind of catch the puck out if he doesn't itemize early. Like our Spirit is one of the better heroes at catching puck early. There's just 2 saves coming out of EG, which are just gonna make his job a lot harder. I feel like this is 100% a carry Sven. I don't think you want to put it on the offlane here. It's just gonna get bullied by the Dazzle Poison Touch and now the Luna. Yeah, Sun would get owned.
So EG going into even more of a death push lineup. Dazzle works really well for that, keeps your creeps alive. Bad Juju will heal your squad up as well, give them armor to allow you to all in. And then once Luna gets like BKB, they can definitely like ball up and exploit the enemy squad. They don't have the best initiation and mobility. That's one weakness on the EG squad. It's kind of down to like Tusk Puck and maybe when Lycan has his ulti. So maybe 5RATFORCESTAFF can kind of like jump in and out and poke them. But if they're deathballed together, it's going to be hard to slow them down. They're going to have to like split push the map a lot to avoid EG if and when they get ahead. And that sounds really difficult.
Okay, I'm glad this Coddle came out because you look at this Lycan and it was unsolved, honestly. The Sven as a solution to Lycan comes out way later in the game after Sven gets a couple of items, but you do need some kind of wave clear, some kind of AoE damage to like potentially push these lanes out, because EG don't really need to have like the best fight initiations. They just need to run down these lanes with the Lycan and like hit that Luna timing early, and Coddle is a really great solution to that. So it looks like it's just going to be mid Coddle, offlane Sky ES, and 5 Nature's Prophet.
Yep, it is mid Coddle. And yeah, Giant gonna be playing it. So 4 on that on the Earth Spirit and 5
so
Sky. I guess.
Sky is getting okay, so it's a mid Nature's Prophet.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It was offlane.
I guess okay, so I guess offlane Coddle shouldn't have that hard of a time as well, but I would have preferred if it had gone mid, really. I think that in the Coddle versus Puck matchup, it only gets scary once Puck hits 6+1 rotation, but you should be able to like hit your timings on that hero and farm. It could be a player comfort kind of thing.
I feel like he just gets crushed by a Tusk rotation though. There's like no way he doesn't die and then get behind, in my opinion. I feel like if you're off lane, maybe you can lane pressure the Luna a bit better. Does that sound reasonable?
I think you can say the same about Nature's Prophet to a Tusk rotation as well, but it's just something they've probably played and talked about. I think 5RAT's draft is really creative. I think the Coddle solved a lot of the lane issues that they're going to have, but I still heavily favor EG's draft here just because I think the lanes are solid. The Lycan can just kind of attract attention to this side. Our Spirit and Sky can really fail at their jobs here with like a +1 item, and they've got 2 saves on the side of EG. It looks like they've just got a really solid 5-man draft, whereas 5RAT has to play the map a lot better and a lot more cleverly.
Why make the Prophet the mid as opposed to the Coddle the mid?
I mean, that's what we were talking about just now. It could just be a player comfort thing, because I would have personally preferred the mid Coddle, even though, yeah, it is scary once Puck and Tusk, like once Puck gets 6. I feel like Nature's Prophet can die the same way to a Tusk rotation, but maybe, I mean, it's a master tier Nature's Prophet on speed, so it has to be player comfort.
Okay, I like the comfort argument. And I'm feeling very comfortable with my piggy friend. Let's go to our casters instead, though. It's Sunsfan and Cinderin.
Prepare to make way.
Who made you captain?
It's pronounced Admiral.
Hit that. Hello, Cinderin.
Yo.
Tsunami does not eat meat, but I would eat you. I do love bacon. It is a delicious, delicious treat that I do have on a...
Oh, it's a female.
Let's just get in the game, please. EG versus 5RATFORCESTAFF. Game number 1 went the way of EG. These two teams are very familiar with each other. As Fly is going to get stunned up by DNM, and he's going to be brought down. So First Blood goes the way of DNM himself on this position 1 Svenny boy here that I haven't gotten to see a ton of lately, Cinderman.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on him in this current meta?
Pretty... Oh, well, let's just say highly situational. I think there was enough merit to it here to make it a good pick. He's good against Lycan, and like the panel pointed out, there's a lot of physical damage in the enemy team, so Warcry offers a lot for the entire team. So I think this was a very cool idea from them to grab this hero here. I was actually expecting, even after the players had picked their heroes, that 5RATFORCESTAFF was going to pull an EG here and swap their lanes, so that Speed was playing off-lane Furion, and they would play a mid-lane Caudle. But it does look like they will stick to their respective lanes as usual, with the players, that is. And the weirdest thing about this whole thing for me is probably the 5 Skywrath. I have pretty bad experience with this. It used to be a thing, I think all the way back in 2014 or something. Alliance played this as a 5 on Ake, if I'm not mistaken. But for the most part, from my perspective, this hero suffers from having too few items. You can technically play it as a 4 from the safe lane support role, I suppose. As long as they give Albino Zebra enough farm, that could work. But I'm a little bit skeptical about this hero's impact in this game, also because of its matchups. Lycan is the nightmare for this hero. I think it's the single worst core to play against in the whole game.
Yep. And like you said, it's not going to be a core, so we're likely not to get an Atos anytime soon to fight off the Lycan. Of course, not going to do much against the creeps, unless you get Gleipnir on a Skywrath Mage to counter Lycan and his creeps.
The classic.
Would not recommend it. Sure, the win percentage is probably high if you look on Dota Buff, is my guess, Synderen.
Yeah, most heroes with very weird items will have a high win rate because it's picked when you're winning.
That's right. So. A win more item, if you will. Little Nick is going to be playing the Caudle in the off lane. And it's been a while since I've seen Arteezy on the Luna as the zip on out by Giant.
I have to I have to praise EG's draft in this game as well. This is a hero combination that I actually think, if I remember correctly, this was actually something that one of my teams as well played multiple years ago at this point. The Luna Dazzle Lycan strat, where you use the fact that you get... Oh, Little Nick is in big trouble here, by the way. He might actually just tick out. He's going to die to one more hit. He's dead.
He is taunting, though, so you know that he's not that upset about it.
So there's a couple of things that make the strategy really cool. First of all, you have the Dazzle heal together with the Wolves. And then Dazzle puts on minus armor with Bad Juju, which makes Lycan stronger. Your Luna makes all of your allies' physical damage stronger with Lunar Blessing. And these 3 heroes combined are really good at taking Roche. So you hit this like mid-game insane teamfight timing if you buy some sort of utility on other heroes like auras or whatever it is, which Lycan is really good at. Where the Luna plus whatever mid hero you have really come online together with that. So I love this strat, and I really do favor EG because I like the strategy so much. But I think the 5RATFORCESTAFF's ideas are very cool on a hero-to-hero level. Try to solve it. So
yeah, we'll see if they can slow down the push that you're talking about. EG's lineup in general is super aggressive in literally every form other than maybe Luna in the very early stages of the game is Fly. Take the Illuminate. Good damage. And gets off the Poison Touch. Onto Giant as he attempts to run away. Fly looks like he'll live, but they'll get the trade, or the actual kill onto Giant.
Fly's getting rich, man. That's 2 kills in a row in the safe lane. Might have wanted to give that to Arteezy if he could, but by no means is it bad to get gold on the 5. I think Dazzle also, like, if he gets to that stage that I talked about with a bit of luxury from Dazzle, can definitely help. You know, another aura item or another little thing, for that 20-minute timing can make a very big difference. So
let's see, Speed off to a pretty good start in the mid lane. 21-8 versus Abed's Puck, which is 18-2 as Crit. He's going to show himself mid. The nice shards blocking Speed in, but he's just going to TP out. Okay. Looks like the snowball is enough to cancel it. So wait till the last second so they can do as much damage as possible. Crit. I'm going to try to put this around Albino Zebra. I mean, if you can hit him with one tag team, that's another great counter to this hero.
It's the dream. So they get the kill and Crit dies as fast as possible after, so that the experience in the mid wave goes to the Puck. Crit gets a full refill and they gave away no experience. Giant is in big trouble. Oof. He's still ticking, right?
Yeah, he is.
He is fine because of the Tango.
Fly in the meantime, though. He's going to face the wrath of Albino Zebra. Gets off the Arcane Bolt. Pops the wand, and the roll in is not quite enough. A nice Lucent Beam, but Fly still dies to the Arcane Bolt. Giant's just going to have to limp back to base. But yeah, Arteezy 21-8 right now, and on the other side of the coin, you see 30-3 on the Sven for DNM. And I mean, how fearsome of a hero can this still be? Because I mean, I still have a bit of PTSD from the old, like when Ags was first introduced and it was just like super popular for like 6 months straight. It just felt like the carry for that year. How does it fare these days, would you say, like in that mid to late game?
A very farmed Sven can still totally carry games, especially if he's played with a hero combination that allows him to stick on targets. So, you know, a tried and true pairing would be something like Puck, right? So you have somebody else setting you up to just go to town.
All right, Coil missed by Abed. It's a little bit missed opportunity. Very happy with that.
But yeah, I think if Sven goes for the normal trajectory here and he just keeps ramping up, I do think EG are a little bit on a timer, to be honest. I think 5RATFORCESTAFF have a very good chance late game in this one. I think all of their heroes scale well. Even the 5 Skyrath, the Lycan matchup will always be a problem for him, but he has some very useful utility later on. Earth Spirit is one of the best late game supports. Even the Caudle 3 has a lot of room to grow. So
Little Nick
has a lot of room to die.
Trouble. Light and RTZ pretty easily clean him up. Now Bino Zebra's a little late to the party, but it doesn't even have mana to work with, so we'll just have to try to leech a little bit of XP here.
I read a suggestion about Sven that I found interesting. I'm curious what you think. What if Axe was toggleable?
So you don't have to go with it?
Yeah, so you can choose if you want to fly with a hammer.
Right. Well, speed. He's gonna get stuck inside the shards. Ooh, nice sprout to get onto the other side.
So basically, if you had Ags on Sven, you can choose if you want to connect with your hammer or not. So you can just throw out a casual stun when you want to instead of backpacking your Ags.
Yeah.
And if you're Rubik and you steal Stormhammer and you have Ags, it doesn't suck.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, who cares about Rubik, honestly? Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
I'm sure there's a dev or two that would love for Rubik to be removed from the game, so they care about it in a negative way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hardest hero to keep up to date with each. I mean, they probably have one employee just dedicated to Rubik. Jeff Hill's secretary is just Rubik only.
You go on a date and you're like, hey, so what do you do for a living? I code Rubik.
Yep, just keep it
40 hours a week.
I would believe it.
And Jeff is like, I'm Jeff, and then everybody's like, oh shit, it's Jeff.
Jeff's here, everybody.
It's Jeff.
No, but I think that's a great quality of life change, and I see no downside. I don't see what the possible reason for the downside to be is. RTZ not going to get connected on, but Sprout, and they turn into Tree Ants, but the Wrath of Nature not quite in time.
Yeah, that needed to be precast for that gank to work. If that connected before he TP'd out, he would have died if it was a max damage one.
Yeah, DNM getting chased off by a crit now. And
Crit doesn't want a high five, it looks like.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Very rude young man.
He looks very angry.
Yeah. DNM going for the Echo Saber.
So annoying. Look at that.
Oh, pops the Gaben Strength just to take out this camp. That's an interesting choice.
Do you actually just replace God with Gaben in every spell?
Yeah, there's Hand of Gaben, Gaben Strength, Gaben's Rebuke.
Gaben-like? Beyond Gaben-like?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't think about that. Oh, DNM, okay. He had an ancient stack to take. So.
What do you call a goddess?
Gabenilla.
All right, no.
I was just on the spot, Cinder. I don't have these names queued up ahead of time as Albino Zebra will be drawn.
Dyer's middle tower is under pressure.
Oh my god, it sounds like some sort of sweet vanilla replacement.
I thought you were going to say it sounds like a rapper. Little Nick.
Little Nick sounds like a rapper, okay?
That's true.
Vanilla.
Up head to the low ground. Okay, Nightfall comes in with that shapeshift, just applying all the pressure to Little Nick, but turns his sights onto speed instead. That's a much higher priority target, and they rip apart that Nature's Prophet. And they're going to turn this into a tier 1 tower. So again, we saw this last game. EG, obviously with this push line, I want to get off to the right, get off to a fast start, I should say, and they're doing that already. As Echo Saber now online for DNM.
Yeah, I'm curious how he goes about his build this game. So Echo's fine. Do you go Echo into BKB straight away? Do you get a Mom on the way and then disassemble the Echo for a faster BKB? Like, what's the plan going to be? Because it's a really delicate game to play Sven in. You're probably going to get 1, maybe 2 chances, and if you mess up those moments, you lose. So those fights, he has to nail them. If he does it correctly, he could win the game for his team. But even 1 or 2 slight missteps, that's what's so dangerous about playing against lineups like the one EG has, is when when everything comes together at this point in the game, it can get nasty really quickly for a hero like Sven.
Yeah.
Okay, he's eyeing up the blink. Not sure how much I like that. I think he really needs... Oh,
we're gonna see the punch. Little Nick dead. Coil was expended for that. Is okay. God strength popped by DNM, so they're gonna get a trade of sorts.
A walrus for a horse. Sounds like a good old trade.
If they came out with a hippo mount, they would make a lot of money. I'm pretty sure.
For which hero?
I don't know. I have to think about that one.
I guess.
Yeah, he has an alligator. Okay, pig pull. Speed. Very speedy as a result, but... So at what stage of the game do you start worrying about the Sven? Obviously, it's still pretty early on, but it feels like he's getting all the farm that he wants right now. Obviously, some towers are being pushed, and he's not going to be able to do too much about it yet. Like I said, has the Echo Saber, and you brought up the Blink Dagger, and you don't like that. But...
Yeah, so my concern with the blink, I understand the logic of if he gets this, maybe he can jump and just kill off the dazzle before he saves people, but I'm a little bit worried that he doesn't have enough to just stand his ground, because the problem here is you jump in as Sven and you start the fight, you're going to get bullied out so fast by the enemy team if they just turn on you with everything that they have. Like, even if you have Warcry running, you should not underestimate just how insane physical damage this Radiant lineup has around that time that he gets the blink. So what I was thinking was to get either a BKB bridge item into BKB or just go straight for it now and then get attack speed so that when the fight is on you can stand at your ground and just deliver and then rely a little bit more on the Earth Spirit to catch or
the roll back in. Albino Zebra gets punched into the skybox. And they're gonna find Giant as well, and it feels like every time this shapeshift is activated there's just way too many creeps to deal with on 5RATFORCESTAFF's side, who are now down 3k. And you can see Arteezy kind of just, I mean, this feels like a 4v5 right now, where he's just been chilling in the bot lane and just pushing it out while the rest of his team takes towers, gets pickoffs, and gets lots of map control. But now we have TP from 5RATFORCESTAFF. Looks like they want to smoke up potentially.
Smoke. Kind of an awkward timing. DNM has 2k unspent gold, so...
Yeah.
He should really finish off his blink before they make this move if it's possible. Oh, they're not smoking either. They're just... Okay, they're basically just escorting the king to his jungle.
Okay. And the Helm of the Overlord already done. Holy jeez. That was... The stat showed 1 minute faster.
Oh, see you later, Roche.
As Roche is melting. Man, that is such a fast Helm of the Overlord. That's kind of insane. Has the dragon now. Abed with the Aegis. Obviously,
Finders keepers.
Luna's not really ready to go high ground with an Aegis, so better to give it to the mid laner. Oh, speed. Okay, they got the coil onto two, but the instant silence, and not finally the phase shift comes out thanks to the snowball. He gets graved at the last moment as well. They're going to get a kill as a result of this. Still phase shift. Remember, he still has the Aegis anyway as Arteezy pops the Eclipse, and down goes Speed. Abed staying alive, but finally the Spirit Vessel ticks him out, so the Aegis is expended as DNM. All right, coming in for a little cleanup crew. Takes out Crit. But it's only 2 supports dead for EG as Abed and Arteezy potentially looking to chase DNM. But now that Nightfall shapeshifts down, looks like they're just going to reset. So Aegis, at the very least, okay.
Hang on.
Yep, Stormhammer is there as Nightfall pops a shapeshift. And yeah, DNM has to be very careful. Oh my god! He got the crit at the last moment. Holy jeez. That was filth.
Did he not? I guess he didn't have Warcry running, right? He must have not had Warcry running, dude. That the damage of Lycan Dazzle is just so insane when you just get to just lay into a single target like that. That was dirty. My god.
Yeah, and that'll extend the lead for EG to 4k as Fly is getting ganked on the other side. Mystic Flare's there. And no way to dispel this quite yet. The Koi, he's gonna stay alive. And they take out Albino Zebra instead. And they get another on top with a tier 2 tower next on the list.
Okay, I'll tell you something. There is something really satisfying about watching Lycan Dazzle kill supports. Just as annoying as it is playing against Lycan as a support. It's kind of like, it's funny to know, you know, see PAs crit daggers and heroes and they just die in one hit. It looks really cool and it's very satisfying to watch, but damn, you just feel for these supports, man. Like the moment they go and cast a spell, If they're even the slightest out of position, they're gone. Like, just no mercy.
Speed is spotted out.
Toast.
And, well, they've used both stuns. Oh, there's the Walrus Punch to follow anyway.
Doesn't matter.
No chance for Speed.
Using echo.
6k lead EG as we...
He did turn into a pig before he died, though. So,
Okay, that's
yeah, so
important.
no Warcry here. Look at this damage. So 1400 HP.
Let's see if he would have gotten out without this last crit on this auto attack.
Is under attack.
That's
That was
close.
borderline, yeah.
Close. Might have been enough anyway, but tough to tell.
That sound effect playing over our teeth.
Radiant's top tower.
Crit. Oh, he's going to spot DNM. Do they see him, though? They do at the last moment. Okay, Stormhammer had to blink in, and he gets blown up.
Couldn't withstand the tide.
All right.
So 5RATFORCESTAFF, I mean, they've gotten a couple pickoffs, but the problem is it's only been the supports, really.
Yeah.
Like, Arteezy's been, I mean, all 3 cores. Like, you can look at my screen, Cinder, and they're all flaming. I got the flaming cosmetic. That means they haven't died recently. They're on some kill streak action. Fly looks to be fine.
Yeah, they know the smoke is coming too. They saw it on the mid ward. They got pinged immediately by Crit where he got ganked. They still smoked in the AoE of the Radiant Vision, so Fly knows how long he can stay there before it drops 1 Shadow Wave and gets out, and you can tell Arteezy is very aware something might be coming his way, so just a little bit of chill in the trees, you know, to have a little breather.
And now Abed with the regen rune. And, I mean, next Roche won't be for a while, so that...
Ooh,
I mean, I would say it's
from
a
EG is going to be
silver
really
lining.
good.
Yeah, Eclipse is ready to go. Arteezy does not have BKB yet. He's going to show himself. There's the Eclipse. Giant is just dead. And the silence onto Crit, but it looks like Albino Zebra trying to find a way out. He is pretty speedy, but he's going to get trapped by one of the best Tusk, if not the best Tusk in the entire world in Crit.
Fortified.
So 2 kills for EG in a short amount of time. And this lead is starting to balloon a little bit.
It's been 6k for a while, I feel like. They're not really...
It's ballooning.
They're not really gaining that much ground in terms of the gold, but I reckon they are in terms of the experience, right? No, it's also pretty much flatlining, but still a huge advantage, and this EG lineup still hasn't hit its apex, in my opinion. I think it's coming up.
Oh, DNM. Okay, he's going to turn his sights onto Abed, but the illusory orb was already out, so now the rest of 5RATFORCESTAFF on the run. Okay. Oh, he's big. Abed is juking all over the place.
Did he just silence him while jumping? He just jumped across the rolling...
I'm sure we'll see the replay of that, but the fight might not be over yet.
Tower is under
Although
That was
DNM.
pretty sick. He silenced a cross-rolling boulder. That is such a narrow window.
Radiant's top tower is on
Very
the
cool.
rocks.
I mean, Abed
Didn't
has
really
had,
matter, but it looked awesome. So
Abed has had a lot of practice on Puck,
Dire's bottom
only to be
tower
outdone by
is
Storm
about
Spirit,
to
of course.
flounder.
is this his second most played now?
It must be. Maybe Void Spirit? Yeah, let's see. Alright, Dodge is there.
So you're gonna see it here. So Earth is gonna try to roll in him here. Just silence the cross. That's a
yeah,
pretty narrow window.
That's pretty sick.
And both heroes survived, so it really wasn't that cool, but it was cool. Okay. So I think here's when it gets really scary for the Dire. When Arteezy gets his next item, so he's actually going Sanjin Yasha, which I don't know if that's really...
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual on Luna, but sometimes it is the right game for it. I'm okay with it. I don't know if it's necessarily the best item, theoretically speaking, but it's fine. When they get the next row, that's when things get
DNM. Okay, goodbye, Crit. Goodbye. He's not quite dead, though.
Goodbye.
Brave. And now the Eclipse to try to counteract this. Speed is going to be the first one to fall, and Crit survives. How is that possible?
Shallow grave, baby.
Man, it felt like they were playing a little bit more passive than they could have.
Just got knocked down.
BKB by Arteezy. He's going to stop a TP for Giant, and we'll get the kill as a result. And you can see Crit taking Albino Zebra in the meantime, and yeah, they're just dropping like flies as EG, now that they have the number advantage and the creeps to boot, they can take these towers super fast.
I mean, they could get Rex here in 15 seconds.
Tower has fallen.
This is scarily quick. Let's see if they can mount a defense with the heroes that they have. Okay, maybe that's exaggerated. Maybe they don't actually get it.
Oh, Crit gets the Walrus Punch. DNF forced to pop the BKB. Will get Crit in the end, though.
Okay, that is
speed with the Sprout. Okay, has the Shard now, so Arteezy kind of stuck inside. Looks like he'll get out eventually. Has the S and Y.
Do they still want to push? I thought they were maybe going to grab at least the tower during that timing, but when they started jumping on the Sven in the base, they prioritized that over the tower.
Yeah, I think with, I mean, the timer on Roche, we won't know, but in 40 seconds, it's possible to spawn. So I'm sure EG has that number written down somewhere. As like this, it felt like they weren't, I don't know. Maybe they got blocked a bit by the trees. They definitely could have killed him. What a turnaround from EG there.
Should really not underestimate how much it matters sometimes, the new ult, right? The bad juju, the activation heal that you use. Because after I think he's healed crit once or twice there, and he has Shallow Grave, so he should have 3 stacks. So just gets that extra heal at the end of the grave, also with the heal amp. All of the little things just add up quite quickly.
Albino Zebra dead.
The life of a 5 Skywrath mage. It is just
rough stuff. Rough, tough stuff. Yeah, DNM.
Got it.
I mean, what's next on the list for him? It must be like a Daedalus. Surely.
Maybe AC is better. I'm still concerned about his ability to just stand. You know, now there's another minus armor source on the Radiant with Nightfall grabbing the AC. So you've got AC plus Bad Juju plus Tag Team with Luna Aura. I think Sven needs AC or he's just gonna get pushed out of the fight even during BKB.
Alright, I have a question. It's gonna seem like a very stupid question, Cinderin. But I might have to hold that thought. Like, if you're farming this fast on Lycan, surely boots at some point makes sense. I understand you don't need it when you're ulted, but your ult doesn't really last that long. Like, why do you not have brown boots at this stage? Like, doesn't it become worth it at some point?
It's a good question. I'm kind of with you that I feel like if you look over the course of an entire game, that 500 gold would have probably paid itself back in terms of just overall map movement, right? At some point, it should work kind of like... It's kind of like not having Midas in a sense.
Okay, DNM punched into the air. He pops the BKB. Oh, the glaze bounce. That last one is enough. And down goes DNM. And well, SkyWrath was in the area, so he's going to die too.
Pretty much.
No buybacks for either of them. And when the Luna is in your base, this is what happens.
So to answer your boots thing on Lycan, I think the thing is, when does it feel right to buy it, right? Because no matter when you buy it, you're delaying another item. So maybe now you've got your key components. So you've got Drum, Overlord, AC. Maybe now you can buy the boots. Because like, let's say you buy it after Overlord, then you're just delaying another teamfight item. Like that 500 gold doesn't make itself back that fast, right?
Crit jumps into the back, just trying to control Little Nick as BKB's popped by Arteezy, and I believe GG's are about to come out as EG just completely overwhelmed 5RATFORCESTAFF with the push.
I love that lineup.
There's nothing they can do about it.
I love it so much. I got excited when I saw them pick Dazzle Lycan together in the second phase. I was like, hell yeah. And then they even rounded it out with Luna, which is another